Happy birthday, great DJ mate, and as you move into your 70th decade, I'd just like to say a pop-tastic great birthday, and may you still be ruling the airwaves before you get summoned by the great DJ upstairs, and even when you're up there, I hope you continue to churn out the indie garbage and prog rock rubbish that you've been spinning and whining at the nation for the last, I don't know, 4,000 centuries. Peely, you're 1 in a billion. Thank God.
Hello, John. Wishing you a happy birthday. Hope you have a great time, and it's nice to see that you're still a true Red. Always were and always will be. Best of luck, mate. Bye.
Dear John, when you worked with me on the T-Rex tour and I was doing a mime piece based on the invasion of Tibet by the Chinese, you were somewhat nonplussed that the audience didn't like the piece where the back row of the audience lifted their hands up with Chairman Mao's little red books in, and there was a whole feud going on between me and the audience. You decided the problem was that I was doing mime. You didn't like mime, and until I came here to America, I never realized that you were right. Nobody in the world likes mime. Thanks for the advice about the songs. I'm glad I stayed with the songwriting, and a very happy birthday with you.
We used to have a late night show, and we'd suddenly hear one of our records, and we go, "We're on the radio." I don't know why he used to like the Faces, but he used to help us, give us a few good mentions, which were very important. Our set list in those days to the Faces was like something unheard of. We used to sort of do live shows and say, like, what are we doing next? And John would always have a little chuckle over that kind of approach. And he saw something very ad-lib in there, and very impromptu. And he used to encourage it. He'd invite us time and time again to do his live radio shows, and I thought it was quite an honour to be asked. They were very fun shows, always ended in collapse and chaos. I remember before the audience came in, because it was all live, we used to gather in the pub and talk about Liverpool, just to keep John happy. The Faces used to get so ripped that John Peel almost wouldn't allow us to go on. And sometimes he used to come on in between numbers and say, "Oh, come on, boys, you can't do that," you know, like falling off the stage and stuff. And we used to tease him. We used to sort of play extra loud or something and make the meters sort of read in red. And he used to go, "Oh, you shouldn't do that." Not many people know that John is a fantastic mandolin player as well. I've never seen John more embarrassed as when he played on that Maggie May. Rod asked all the Faces to come on, and I remember Rod pulling me aside and saying, "Here, let's go Peely on the mandolin." And we're all going, "He doesn't play mandolin." And he said, "Exactly." But he also had a little chuckle as well, you know, sort of, "Oh, yeah, I don't know how you got me to do that." Get on back home, one of these long, long days. How old is he now? 60? Bloody hell.
So, John Peel, 1971, I just got married to Kate McGarrigle, and we split up on our honeymoon. She went to London, and I went running after her. We made up, and then we had an apartment, a flat in Kennington, £5 a week. And I had a lot of time on my hands, and I thought, well, maybe I'll go over to Atlantic Records, walk in and introduce myself. I've made a record for them, my first record. I walked in and everyone, he's here, he's here. People came running out of offices. My God, God, you're here. Your record is a huge thing in the UK. And I said, why? No one told me.
Each and every one a gem. When I was your age,
It turns out that John Peel single-handedly had created a career for me in the UK and in parts of Europe. I started to do these gigs. 600 people would show up in Cambridge or at the City Hall in Glasgow. 800 people. They knew the lyrics to all of the songs.
Ain't it big enough for us both in this town? Say it's big enough for us both in this town.
He's been critical of some of my records, and he said as much on the radio, but he's stuck with me. And for an artist, it's a beautiful thing, because this music business is so fickle. And if you're the new kid on the block, it's fabulous. But if you're the old guy on the street, and Peel, who is the cutting-edge guy, if he likes what you do, he'll hang in there with you. And I'm very grateful about that. This is the power. Peel power.
I'm not sure about that Oedipal stuff, but when we were together, it was always rough.
I think John likes my family songs the best, because he's interested in the family. He's a family guy. I think one of the earliest songs that I did was a song called A Father and a Son, because it's about the difficulty that I had with my son and with my own father. And I think he, like many fathers, has experienced that kind of legacy of father-son angst, I guess, whatever it is. And I've tried to play it on his radio show, and I keep screwing it up because I know he likes it so much. But it's the family songs that he likes. He's a family guy.
Never really ends, though each race is run. This thing between a father and a son. Maybe it's power, push and shove. Maybe it's hate, probably it's love. Maybe it's hate, probably it's love.
John, happy birthday, baby! What a man.
I suppose, yes, it must have been 76 I started listening. I remember listening to the Ramones quite a lot. And I remember thinking, this is quite exciting. I thought, I'll start my own punk band. So I did. When I went to university, 1977, with Paul Whitehouse, called the Right Hand Lovers, rather embarrassingly.
He's always played crap. And I can't honestly believe that he's enjoyed a lot of it. He must have hated a lot of it. But he was always entertaining, and I remember we played Nevermind the Bollocks in its entirety. Even the band God Save the Queen, which was my favourite song at the time, so I was, yeah, that was good, very impressed.
Once our punk band had collapsed in ruins, I found I'd quite enjoyed being in a band. And so we started another one, which eventually became the Higsons. We were a strange little forgotten niche. Probably because we were shit. I think the main attraction to the start of the Higsons for John Peel was geographical. Because we were in Norwich, we were relatively close to where John Peel lived. And so he kind of championed us. He picked up on our first single, and then he gave us a session quite soon after that. We thought that was it, we were on the way to the big time. We were going to be huge international stars. But all it led to was a string of other Peel sessions, which was very nice. It used, basically, that's what kept us going, was the money we made from doing Peel sessions. Oh yeah, they paid. And to a young person who could live on chips, it would keep you going for a while. Our first single was 1 minute 50. And then we were starting to do sort of 3 or 4 minute long, and it was epics. And we did this session we thought was very good. And after one track he said, I don't know, it seems to me like the tracks are getting far too long these days. And he sort of backtracked, said, I'm not trying to have a go at the Higsons, but he was. And he was right.
I don't think you had to be an avid listener of John Peel to appreciate him. I think he's the genius of him, as far as I was concerned, is that you knew that somewhere he was challenging Radio 1's accepted playlist. Even though you might not want to hear it, at least there was this presence there having a bash at it. Of course, he had to play a lot of crap to do it, so it was best if you didn't listen to him and just tip your hat off like that. Peely's on. Well done, Peely. Bottom down the pub.
Yes, well, isn't it, Ted?
Thank you for all the
Well done, and all the help and love and support.
Happy birthday, John, and thank you for all the support over the years.
There you go.
You certainly kept us going in the Higsons, and it was much appreciated, your early support of the Fast Show.
Your late support, where was it?
The Undertones had sent me lots of demo tapes, which I've still got somewhere, and I'd listened to some of them, not to all of them. I thought, you know, this is a perky bunch, but not much more than that. The sound quality was always appalling, and although I'm not somebody who's been much affected over the years by marvellous sound quality, at the same time, you know, a lot of it was kind of indistinguishable. But then when the single came out, I mean, how could you hear it for the first time and not even now marvel at it? I mean, just the simplicity and the kind of directness of it. And you know, it's like when you go on, you go to the fairground and you go up clanking up the slope, and you know, and then you come over the top and you're off, and you can't. Once you're going, you can't stop it until you reach the other end. And it had that kind of rush to it, you know, and it still does for me. I mean, every time I hear that dun dun, that goes into the guitar, and you just think, wow, here we go again, and it's fantastic. And I, you know, sometimes there are times when you put a record on the radio and you just know that people are going to go mad for it, and you can't wait to get on the radio. And you say, yeah, well, listen to this, you know. And you started off, and you know there are going to be people sort of like pulling over to the side of the road or shushing their friends up, saying, "What's this? What's this?" And you knew with Teenage Kicks that it was going to get that kind of response, and it still does. I mean, if I play it on the radio now, I have to segue it into another track, because I still get a lump in my throat every time I hear it. And the first time I heard somebody else play it was Peter Powell played it on a Saturday morning when I was stuck in a traffic jam on my way up to Anfield. I was on the M6 near Stoke-on-Trent, and Peter Powell played it, and I just sat in the car sobbing. Probably do it again tomorrow if it happened again.